Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, part 8 of the NHL 22 Wishlist series, where I go through all the prior videos, comments, and feedback, and what you guys want to see in NHL 22, and address the comments, and kind of mark the things that I agree with, and maybe talk some misconceptions that some of you guys might have, or just start a general discussion about the new game. It's the only way that we're going to change it or see any improvements to it. So all the stuff that I've talked about and all the comments that I've gone over, guys, I've relayed them, the ones that I think that are really, really good. And again, if you see one that you like in these videos, like it, so that way I can see that you guys are all on board with this. Because I just send it right over to the developers, and hopefully we can get some of this stuff implemented in NHL 22. So let's pick up where we left off the last day, and we'll start with Waxy. It would be sick if we could custom our own jersey and hut exactly like World of Chell. I 100% agree with that. The one thing I don't understand, and again, maybe I need to ask the developers this, but I don't understand about how the stuff that's in other modes in this game, why it can't be implemented into the other ones. So I know that there is a reason for jerseys in Hockey Ultimate Team. I just don't remember what it was, so I'll get back to you guys on that. But yeah, I don't understand why we can't have our own jerseys. The one thing I'll say is that maybe make it like a restriction where you have to use a logo, or you have to use a real team logo, and some of the colors, like I could just imagine all like the lime green ones that we would see though. Rock in Jump says, we need a system like Brawl Stars has. They have a system that where the more trophies you get, the more items you get. They should do that. If a certain amount of skill rating, you can claim a certain pack. Yeah, like I think that, getting into Division 1, you should earn something like that. I mean, this was in NHL 19, I believe. I think if you got to Division 1 in online seasons, you got the 90 overall legend Tim Horton. And like I agree, there should be something that we get for reaching these milestones other than just saying, hey, I'm in Division 1. I'm not going to lie. Division 1 in this game, whether you want to roll your eyes or not, if you can get to 2150 in terms of CR in Rivals with how Rivals works and the fact that it's skill-based matchmaking, that's a pretty big, accomplishment. You're a good player of this game, and we don't get anything for it other than just more difficult matchups the rest of the way. The Berg 89 says, I'd like to see them change how they do card synergies in HUT. Instead of having cards with static synergies, they could have slots. Base cards would have one slot. As the year progresses, the cards could have 2, 3, and 4 slots. There would be a synergy consumable that you could pull in packs and pick up in the auction house as the year progresses, and you can release the +1, +2, +3. This way, if you like a card or a player, you can build them to meet your synergy rather than picking up a player you may or may not like just for the synergies. Also, give base cards more longevity, because at this point of the year, you can pull a +4 to distributor into a base McDavid or something like that. Cards that still come with stock synergies, but I like to have the flexibility to change them during the year. I really like this has come up a lot, and the 5 likes on this means that you guys agree with it. Synergies is so hit or miss. Like, part of me just wants them gone, and part of me thinks that they need to be in the game because of the bigger, slower skaters. Skating is end-all, be-all. I don't know how they fix that or how you make it any different. It's just how hockey is played. Like, we could all say that we don't want speed synergies and things like that, but no one is going to use it. It would just be like the Jack Hughes and, McDavid. Well, McDavid's a bad example because he should be. But like Duchesne, like we would all just end up using the fastest cards because there's no skating synergies. Whereas, you could get away with using, Tomas Hertl, who's not a very good skater, but if he had Speedster, he'd be more than usable. So the speed ones, I don't know. I kind of think maybe removing speed synergies, but I don't know. I don't know how we fix that, and I'm not really sure where they go with it. That being said, I really like the idea of being able to, choose the synergy you want. And again, I've said this before, that maybe, certain player types, they can't have certain synergies. So if he's a smaller, faster guy, and he already has a high base speed, he can't have Speedster, that kind of thing. But yeah, because I use Makar as an example this whole time, man. The Makar cards were built so well because they had Shutdown and Gladiator, and it made him have really high body checking. And now because he's only 5'11", the fact that he has high body checking, he's able to bump guys off the puck, and he's so fast. So I agree with you here. I like this kind of system. I think that being able to pull like a +4 distributor card, it makes it feel like an MMO or like an RPG game, which I think there needs to be a little bit more of that aspect in Ultimate Team. So that would be kind of cool. It just, I don't know what to do about synergies anymore. I think team-based synergies just need to be removed, to be honest with you. Just remove them completely. Jen Lockridge says, but with the overall thing, some people would put in a bad goalie to lower it. Okay, so he is referring to the Hut Champs where I said the overall needs to be low. So like if there's your team can't be any higher than an 88 overall. Okay, so that means you could have a 99 overall card, but that's going to bring your overall way up. So the backup goalie wouldn't play into that. Okay, he wouldn't play into it at all. And the rest would be, if you take away the backup goalie in terms of lowering your overall, you really can't do much. Like if you're gonna lower your overalls and jam in your fourth line, that's fine. But if that fourth line gets stuck out there and they're bronze cards against someone who's built a pretty balanced line, like that's the trade-offs. I think it'd just be a lot better for competitive play. That's a long one. Fix the goalies. Every cross crease should not go in. I know 3 people that stopped playing because the goalies are so bad. Okay, so cross crease this year became like a meme because at the beginning of the year, it seems like they did something to nerf the intercepts in terms of defensemen. The thing is, though, everyone had, in Hut specifically, there was such lower defensive awareness overalls. And defensive awareness is the stat that dictates whether you're going to intercept the pass or not. It helps improve it and decrease it depending on how the overall. As the year went on, I found intercepts actually were intercepted a little bit more. Also, when I switched my defenseman from playing lefty on the right and righty on the left, I switched them to play their strong side. I noticed that cross creases didn't get through as much because they were playing their proper position. In real life, if you allow a cross crease to go through, it goes in. Like, that is the end-all, be-all. The thing about hockey is that when you watch a full game, a lot of it's played in the neutral zone or breaking the puck out. Like, there is a lot of boring stretches to hockey. Whereas when you're playing a 20-minute video game and periods are 5 minutes longer, that's 4 times faster. Those moments seem a lot more... They just seem to happen a lot more. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I think that the intercepts this year when you're manually controlling a defenseman were a mess, and that they didn't seem to make an animation to actually make an attempt on the puck, which I agree is crap. However, the cross crease goal, if you allow a cross crease goal or a cross crease into the slot, that should go in, especially at 99s. But I understand the issue here. I have an issue big time. My one biggest gameplay one is that when you manually control a player, if your stick is not directly in the lane of what the player is passing, your player makes no movement to move his stick at all to intercept the pass, and that's why it's just not advantageous to use manual defense when intercepting passes. All right, Pavel Mahalik says, you've got good ideas, but... Oh, that's always a good start. With season's rivals, it would make more sense if players could choose between 1 to 2 weeks. E.g., if I know I'll be busy next week, I enter competition for only a week. But if I know I'm free for 2 weeks, then I enter into the other one. Players could still play against each other, even if they select a different mode. But their rewards would depend on season rivals when they choose. Dude, I think you're making that more complicated. Like, so my idea in Rivals was to make Rivals be a season a lot like events. So an event is 2 weeks long. I said, hey, why don't you make the 50-game maximum that you can play in Rivals 2 weeks long, so 50 games over 2 weeks, and not include Hut Champs in there. So you want to play Hut Champs, go ahead. It doesn't impact Rivals. So if to get to 50 games in Rivals, that's a lot. But you have 2 weeks to do it. I'm not really sure why you'd want to split that up. Like, if you're busy 1 week, you could just play them all in the other. Event cards in Champions Rewards wouldn't really be fair, as it would always be the same few hundreds of players unless their reward was only for first place. Yeah, but my man, right now, only the top 20 players. And if we're being honest, there's probably only about 50 players in North America and in Europe that really have a strong shot at top 20 every week. So going to maybe the top 250 that get a guaranteed event card pack, that's significantly improving the amount of people that can actually get that. So I don't know if I agree with that one either. Because if it's only first place, if it's only for first place, man, then only one person's getting it. 99% of the player base isn't even going to try. Divisions in Rivals should matter. Sometimes players are much better than the division they are in. Okay, but that's only for a certain period of time. The one thing I will say is that when you're in Division 2, you'll match up with Division 1 a lot because there's not a lot of Division 1 players. That's an issue. I think it should just hard match you against your division. At that point, maybe not go and expand the overalls, because at some point you're going to get someone in Division 1 no matter what rating they are. But in terms of like, if you're in Division 5, there's not going to be that many players that are that much better than where you're at, unless you're in Division 5 and you shouldn't be, that kind of thing. Squad battles should be offline. I don't know what's wrong with the servers, but if someone... Yes, man, I 100% agree. I think it should be offline. I don't know how they would do that because HUT's an online mode. I don't know if that's a possibility. Game takes it as if we left. If it happens twice, we can't replay the match again. If I was offline, to avoid... I agree. I don't know if you could do that, but yeah, that would be substantially improved because it's mostly just the offline players that play it. Mercy rule in squads, as it's just a waste of time if you're playing. If after you get 10 plus within the first 2 periods, yeah, Mercy would be cool. Would be kind of cool. Like just if you hit a certain amount, that's it. 6, Team of the Week should enable all cards of those players from that week to be upgraded. I wasted a lot of GCs on Stamkos from the 94 flashback. Then he was in All-Stars. Now he's Team of the Week again, and it all seems like wasted money at the beginning. Yes. My idea was if you're... This goes for every single master set item from any event. This was my idea that I pitched to the game changers or the developers was let's use William Nylander. So the Lit versus Grit Nylander that came out at the very beginning of the year. He was an 89 overall or a 90 overall. If he ends up getting like a 91 overall Team of the Week, you should be able to throw that Team of the Week card into a set, maybe with a gold collectible or maybe some sort of upgrade collectible that you can get, like that would actually have worth, and then it would upgrade that master set item to a 91. I think that would be a great way to keep Team of the Week cards and the master set items. Because, yeah, I agree. Why spend all that money when a better card is just going to come up for that one? Especially if it's like a McDavid master set item or something that is going to improve. So I completely agree with that. 7, people should be able to create their own master sets of the players they like, not only players EA gives us. Could be done the same way with like Couturier and Makar. So master set items, that's card art that they actually get from artists, so it's not possible. Like, you wouldn't be able to create your own one. All of the card art is done for events in the summertime before the launch of the game, for most of the events, and then about halfway through the year, I believe, they do a patch and add in the next couple events. But yeah, they wouldn't be able to do that. Master item is all commissioned, like with artists, so they wouldn't be able to do that. I wish, man, that'd be cool, but players should actually be able to change reroll synergies. That's coming up quite a bit. I agree with that. Like, there's got to be some sort of change with synergies because you can't use the players you want to use because of their synergies. Again, I go back to MLB. Now it's a completely different game and how it's played. There's no synergies in MLB. You can just use whatever card you really like. There should be more teams players, e.g. from the UK and other countries, and seeing some icons makes me wonder what happened with players like Fedorov, Hasek, and Yager. So I can answer that. The Fedorov, Hasek, Yager thing means they are not currently signed with the NHLPA's Alumni Association. So EA only has access to the players that are in that and have signed for that. So I know Hasek and Yager were, but Yager specifically is still playing overseas, and they don't have a contract with that league, from my understanding. So they've included a ton of European leagues. Obviously, the more the better. But those guys specifically, if they're not signed to the Alumni Association, we can't put them in the game. Ability to swap the goalie in the middle of the map. Yes, man. So ever since they changed the aggression stat to actually be more like a personality trait, so the higher the aggression, the higher the goaltender comes out and challenges the puck, as opposed to lower aggression where they sit back in the net, and that's more of the overpowered thing. But the thing is that goalies that come out and challenge are better against players that just use short side wristers, whereas goaltenders that sit farther back of the net can kind of get picked apart by guys that just use short side wristers. But if they're just going for cross ice one-timers, the goalie with lower aggression can get over faster, and that's why the meta is a lower aggression goaltender, because that's mostly what we go for. But it would be great to be able to switch them out and have 2 different goaltender player styles. 100% agree with that, man. 100% agree. Ability to use attackers in defense. No. So, okay. That was a thing in NHL 19. I remember my first game changer meeting when I flew to Vancouver, and it was being discussed. They said they were going to do that. Honestly, I used to use, if you go back to NHL 19 and you look at team builds, Specifically, one of like my most famous things early on in my time as a streamer was I used Bernie Jeffrey on the point in like November. Now he's really small and bad on defense, but he had 99 slap shot accuracy and power, and I would just hammer point shots because the you'd be able to get D to D one timers through so easily, and he would score all the time with them. But what ended up happening is that because defensemen overalls and how they work, their defensive stats are much higher than forwards. So there's something needs to take a hit for their overall to not get out of control, and it's usually their shot. And shots are, outside of skating and size, really the next most important thing for defensemen when you're playing this game. So what ended up happening was it was just forwards on defense, and that's not how you should play the game. Just like in MLB, you can't play a player outside. You can play a player outside of position, but then their defense is absolutely awful. So unless you want to make, your defensemen, have like zero defensive awareness and put a forward on there, maybe. All right, strategies so we can choose how players be positioned like in FIFA games. Their strategies do need to be updated. I don't know when they will. I agree, they need to be updated. Cross crease should be nerfed to get how many people go for cross crease goals only, and all they have to do is add some moving speed for the goal. So I just mentioned this in the last comment. In the real NHL, a cross ice one timer is like one of the most overpowered things. So again, it's a video game. Like when people complain about this kind of stuff that would happen in real life, if you take that away, all you're doing is whittling the game down to just shooting the puck from anywhere and hoping that it goes in. Setting up plays and whatnot just means a lot less. So, I think that like I said, the manual defense and the ability to actually intercept pucks needs to improve. Cross-ice goals are what you go for in the real thing, so I don't know. Size of players. It makes sense that when bigger players hits a dwarf player, the ice goes flying, but if the dwarf hits ability, he doesn't even slow down. That's sad, so make it more realistic. I don't know, man. I think hitting and bumping is pretty on point. I don't know about that one. Tripping penalties. Most of the time, I can't even see how I trip the players, and I can't even see that they would slow down, so that could be nerfed too. Tripping penalties are. Again, maybe I'm not. I don't know how you're playing, but if you hit R1 and you miss the puck and it goes anywhere near his skates, or if he's half spinning or doing any sort of skating maneuver, he's probably gonna get tripped. So I'm not sure on that one. Practice mode or actual players so we can hit. Yes, man. So I said this last year. I wanted this in the game. A HUT practice mode so you can actually practice the cards. Even just shootouts or something. Like, yeah, that'd be great. Prices should go down whether it's GCs or real money. I think that GC should be a static cost throughout the year. It shouldn't go up exponentially because the cards aren't getting that much better than what we've got. So yes, I agree with that. Current pack probabilities are incorrect and seems like when there is actually something in the pack that loads of other players have the same card from the same pack, you're just reading Reddit and seeing all the good pulls, man. You're not seeing the thousands of no pulls. I mean, if you watch my streams, I pulled nothing basically the whole year, and I spent more money than a majority of players. Challenges should always and not to mention it's illegal for them to do that, and they would have already been sued for this specifically. Challenges should always reward us. What's the point of wasted time for a challenge? I 100% agree, dude. That challenges are brutal. ESHL could be combined with Ultimate Team, so people could use a player they have the same coins or rewards too. So that'd be like a global XP system. I would love that. So if you play any mode, even if it's not HUT, you work towards, and you can get upgrades for Hockey Ultimate Team. Thanks for the long detailed list, man. I appreciate that. Gregory Street, I think you hit the nail on the head with everything you said. I really hope they utilize the parallel system like the show. NHL's gotten stale over the last month or two. I'm a huge hockey fan and still play regardless, but I'd love to see these changes coming in the next year or two. Just to touch on what else I think they should change is the fact that there are other handful of different kinds of cards. I wish they would make lots of different cards and players in the past. I know it's tough. NHL doesn't have the rights. Just for example, like a rookie card or Young Guns, something different than what they have. I think that'd be cool. I really enjoy HUD. I think your suggestions are spot on, man. Thanks for the content for the video. God bless. Yo, thank you, man. I appreciate that. The thing I would say, I would love it if I hate the headshot thing. I hate that it's like the headshot and the card is just slightly different. It's just, again, we're spoiled in MLB because they have a Topps deal, or they clearly have a deal with Topps. So it's real life cards that you're using. It's not made up ones. And NHL, like if they could use Upper Deck, man, imagine that. Like they do a rookie set and it's all just Young Guns, and it's like, oh man, like I don't know what that would entail, but it would be incredible. Oilers fan 365. Another thing NHL could possibly take from MLB Diamond Dynasty is have your creative player on the team and have him start out as a bronze player. Yes and no. Like I'm not a big fan of it in MLB because it's very meta oriented and no one really makes what they want to make. That's obviously the majority of people out there, but like in all honesty, I'm not a huge fan of the creative player. Not gonna lie. But I can see that people that do, and it wouldn't be a bad thing. I just probably wouldn't use them. But it would be cool to have an upgradable card that you could use, yes. I would like more customization in HUT, like in ESHL, like the ability to change your club jerseys and arenas like you can. Yes, I'd love to be able to build your own arena, man. That'd be so sick. And if you get like HUT champs or comp seasons, you get like a banner and stuff. Like it'd be great. I agree with that completely. Marty Met says the first thing that needs to be implemented in HUT, in my opinion, is the batch upload of cards in the auction house. There isn't a good reason why I should sell cards, jerseys, etc. if I have 10, 15, or 20 to sell. We should be able to multi-select. Yes, that would be sweet. If you imagine just being able to sell all your golds, you just multi-select them, be like 900, bang. Now, the most frustrating thing is to open 7 or 10 good packs and get nothing worth the time. Yeah, 100%, man. The packs in this game are brutal. Absolutely insane. 2 weeks ago, I finished first in squad battles. With all the packs I got from it, I got 86 prime time. Then I played Rivals just 2 weeks, 2-3 packs, and I think it was a silver. I got a 93 prime time that saved the day, but obviously it was untradeable, big L. I'm grinding squad battles because I can't play enough online games, all the auction in the house, and they are way less sweaty. Okay, fair enough. But either I had a good online week getting a lot of packs from online, or finishing top 50, top 20 in squad battles, I got crap pulls for at least 6 weeks straight. And this means nothing worth more than 30k when I was lucky. Before and after, I might have pulled a card with 100k, maybe 200k. For like 3 months is extremely bad. Dude, like I said, man, I spent tons of money on this game, and I got very little in terms of just an abundance of cards that I would just turn into gold collectibles. Sure, I can play a lot during the week and weekend, even though I need to hit pause often, but the ratio time spent... Dude, like, I can't agree with this more, that the amount of time you put into the game and the lack of guaranteed rewards is a joke. 100% needs to be fixed, and I hope that's something that we can impact next year. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for episode 8 of the NHL 22 Wishlist series, as I'm still going through the first video's comments. It gets a little bit quicker as we go on, but I'm going to continue to start the summer, so any comments you leave in this one, I will read in a future video. Thank you guys again. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. I'll see you later on. Have a good one.